Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Avon Eka, and I want to thank you for taking for actually taking the time to go through this quick presentation. Look, I'm not going to waste your time, but what I want to make sure is that this presentation is going to be one of the best things for you in your business, especially if you're in a place where you're stagnant and you're struggling, and the whole goal is to literally get you to where you want to be, which is more customers, more clients. So you're gonna see me. I'm in the office real quick before we get started. I'll let you know you're gonna hear the phones ring. I'm literally live in my office. You're gonna hear the phones ring. Maybe somebody will come by and say hi. Tell them to get lost. Regardless of what it is, this is real. This is not like some of the other people who do these presentations in a closed room, like a quiet set, and they have foam on the walls. This is where I actually practice my craft and do the work that I do. So this is real life. Okay. So in this particular quick training, I'm going to share with you the 4 reasons you're not finding a steady flow of high-paying customers and clients. Okay, and then I'm going to give you some added bonuses as well and advice that I think will really be helpful for you. But today, what we're going to cover is I'll tell you what we're going to cover. But today, we're going to cover who this training is for, so you know you're not wasting your time. I'm going to share a little bit about me and who I am and why I'm the person to do this training. Additionally, I'm going to share with you some of the pitfalls, the problem with referrals, and I decided to do this training because a lot of the clients I talk to before we start into a program, I interview them first, and a lot of times they get all their customers and clients through referrals, and you may be going through this too. I'm going to show you some of the pitfalls, but I'm also going to give you some guidance as to what to do instead. Additionally, I'm going to share with you the 4 reasons you're not finding high-paying customers and finding a steady flow of high-paying customers and clients. And this is the number one thing. Like, these 4 reasons are the number one thing you need to focus on is bringing customers and clients into your business. I'm also going to share with you how to find higher-paying clients, more capital, and how to grow your business. Right? The steps are simple. It's the actions that become the problem. I'm also going to share with you some success stories. Just a few of the people who've had tremendous success with the things that we do. And then finally, we're going to talk about what to do next, right? So let's get started so we don't waste. A lot of people like to waste time. I try not to. Try to be efficient. So let's start with who this training is for. This is for small business owners. Okay. If you don't have a business, you don't have an entity, if you're not in the business space, don't bother. You may want to go somewhere else. This is also for people who provide or sell services to other small businesses, so B2B. I also work with people who are B2C, but this particular training is for people who are B2B. So if you sell to other businesses, sell to other companies, you're trying to get in front of the right person, the right decision maker, this training is for you. If you sell widgets and products on Amazon, if you sell t-shirts and hats or something like that, this is not going to be very helpful for you. Because that's a different strategy. This strategy is for people who do B2B. These are for people who've invested time and money into other programs or coaches in the past. So maybe you've hired other coaches or trainers, or taken other programs or other courses. Maybe you're in a mastermind group. This is something that's for you because, again, this is another level of what you've probably already done, but this is the next level. So if you haven't got to the first level, what we're going to be talking about may not work for you. Okay. You also have to you must know who you serve and provide a valuable solution. So you have to know who you particularly serve, like what kind of clients you have already. You must have a viable solution as well, and not just someone who's jumping and starting out. Okay. You must have a marketable skill. You have to be able to identify it. So if I ask you what's your skill or what's your superpower, you can tell me I do this and I do this and this and this. Okay. You must also be ethical and have integrity. Why? Because what I'm sharing with you is something that can be used for bad, but also for good. And I prefer to work with people to do things for good. So the whole goal here is to give you something that you have to be ethical and have integrity, or else what's the point? I don't. No amount of money you can pay me is worth anything. Okay, worth that kind of headache. Also, last, you have to have existing clients. If you don't have any clients, it becomes a lot harder. It's more of a challenge. And there are other things you can do, but primarily this training is very niche and for those who have existing clients and customers. because we're going to use some of those in the future to determine who you should attack or who you should go after going forward. Okay. So now let me before we go on, I'll share with you who this is not for. Now I'm drinking. This is water because I'm going to be talking a lot, so I'm going to be drinking a lot of water to hydrate my throat. So who this training is not for? This is not for this training is not for small business owners, new small business owners with no experience. Okay, if you have no experience, this is not for you. Send me a message. Maybe I can introduce you to some of my other programs, something that can help to get you started. If you provide or sell services to consumers, if you're considered to be B2C, mentioned that in a previous screen. If you're chasing new or the hottest business opportunities, if last year you were doing messenger bots and now you're doing funnels and then you're doing something else or the new algorithm and you're chasing different things, and I look at your profile and I see you have all these things that you've done, or if I talk to you about your business, you're saying I'm starting a new business, this is not for you. If you don't have a marketable skill, if you're just trying to do what everybody else is doing, for example, if you're just trying to become the next social media agency, I'm telling you in the next few years that's going to actually dwindle, if not sooner, because somebody just took a course and then decided to start their own agency, and there's no sustainability because they haven't cultivated a skill, right? So that's not going to be for you. If you're not ethical, if you have no integrity, it's pretty obvious. Don't bother. Small businesses that don't have existing clients, same thing. It's not going to work. So now let me share with you who I am. You can see my picture, I think, in this as I'm doing this right now, but let me go a little bit deeper to who I am, and then you'll understand why I'm the person to do this and why I do this. Okay. First and foremost, I'm a CPA, which is a certified public accountant, licensed in the state of Virginia. But obviously, my license is recognized across the country, and also it's a international designation. People know what a CPA is. I played professional basketball in Europe and in Asia. A lot of people don't know that. I'm 6'5". And I played professional basketball in Europe, Switzerland. I played in England. I played in Asia, China, Taiwan. I also visited North Korea, and this is about 20 years ago. And I also visited Iran. Same thing, 20 years ago. Played against their national teams, played in different tournaments and stuff like that. So I played professional basketball right out of college. I played college basketball, then I played professional basketball, then I started working as a CPA after that. I'm a tax, accounting, and strategy consultant. I have been a tax, accounting, and strategy consultant with places like PwC, Deloitte & Touche, if you're familiar, Cohn Resnick, and a whole host of other international companies. I've worked with some of the largest companies in the world, many of which you'd know if I were to share their names with you. A lot of stuff you probably have their products in your house and things that you've bought and places you've gone to. So I've had a lot of experience there. Additionally, I provide sales, marketing, and growth strategies for businesses and startups. So part of what I've also done in the past is I serve as a mentor and advisor to a lot of startups, especially ones who are venture backed. So those who have raised venture money, I help them with creating their minimum viable product and also their pricing. That's one of the things that I've always done, is to help companies in service space with their pricing. And one of the things we do, the best thing the biggest things that I do is pricing. So I'm a pricing strategist for service-based businesses. So I show them how to charge more for what they do by being able to identify some key areas, and that's where a lot of the money and the income that we generate comes from. Best-selling author, international best-selling author, Start Me Up, the No Business Plan business plan, published here in the U.S., Canada, Indonesia, parts of Asia, other parts of Europe as well. It's the quickest way to get started without a business plan. Also, I wrote a pocketbook, The 10-Minute Motivator. Great book, change your life. Also, I'm a television, radio speaker, and social media spokesperson. So here's some of the companies that I've worked with: Bank of America, UMA, as well as been on a whole host of different networks. I spent a lot of time on I-24. I've done a lot with China Central, China Global Television. There's just a sample of the places I've been on: ABC, MSNBC. I'm a spokesperson for a lot of major brands in a small business area. So Bank of America, I have a huge partnership with Bank of America, and a whole host of other different companies out there who I basically do spokesperson work in a small business space. So this is an example of where I'm at. So the whole point of me sharing this is this. I'm not just a dude that just, or some guy that just, took a course last week or last month or last year, and now I'm trying to teach some people something that I've never done myself. Everything I'm teaching, I've done. Everything that I teach, I've done with results for myself and for the people who have worked with clients that have worked with me. And you can find me. You just Google me. You'll find me all over the place. You find me on television. You'll find television spots. You'll find me writing for different publications. I don't know how much more social proof I can share with you, because you name it, I've been on it. Plain and simple. XM Satellite Radio, you name it. Podcasts, you name it. I've done so many, I don't even remember them anymore. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this to impress upon you the importance of my vast experience and knowledge that I've over the years. So let's talk about the pitfalls, the problem with referrals. So one of the things that I've noticed, I got off the phone with a client today, actually. We were talking about how they brought money into their business, and this is a multi-six-figure company. They do their agency, they help with branding and nonprofit space, and they do majority of what their income is actually is close to almost, it's multiple six figures. I won't give you the number because I'm not sure they're comfortable with that yet. So multiple six-figure business. They're looking to grow and scale their particular business. And one of the ways they bring money into their business right now, or bring capital into their business, is through referrals, right? Plain and simple. You tell your friends, hey, this is what I do. Tell somebody else, hey, realtors do this all the time. Here's a card. If you think of me if you want to sell your house. That's great. A lot of people struggle with that. And I'll give you a personal example. About 11 years ago, I used to have a high-end clothing line. It's a made-to-measure suit, very high ticket. And I used to have clients like NFL players, like Terrell Suggs, if you're familiar with him. He plays for the Baltimore Ravens. CEOs of major companies, CEOs of smaller companies, small business owners, executives, people who understood the importance of being well-dressed so they can present themselves accordingly. And the problem is this: I thought that having famous clients would get me more clients, right? And that's akin to having referrals. And one of the things that I realized more than anything else was that's the problem that I was having. Relying on referrals is literally not going to help me, because I was relying on referrals, but here's the problem with referrals. People only buy when they're in the mood to buy. I'll read it again. People only buy when they are in the mood to buy. Now, what does that mean? That basically means unless you are ready to buy, knowing that I do what I do is irrelevant. So if I were to I do men's suits as an example, and you're not ready to buy a men's suit, or maybe you bought a men's suit somewhere else, or maybe you don't even care about the quality of my suits. You just rather go buy Joseph A. Banks or Men's Warehouse and pay $200 for a suit. Nothing wrong with any of those things, but you knowing what I do is irrelevant, because the chances are the people you meet, right, may most likely may have similar thoughts to you do, right? You probably think that, hey, who's going to pay $2,000, $1,000 for a suit? I just bought this suit for $200 at Joseph A. Bank. People say it looks nice. I'm going to tell my friends about Joseph A. Bank. You're not going to tell anybody about the $1,000 suit, because then they're going to ask you, did you buy a $1,000 suit? And you're going to say no. And then they're going to say, why would I take your advice? You see what I'm saying? So referrals only work if the person that's doing the referring actually had been a customer or a client of yours. And you can only scale or grow that so much, and it's also unpredictable. So the problem I had is I waited for clients back in 2008, and then the market crashed, as you probably well know. The market crashed, all the banks were going under, housing was going to crap, people were losing their homes, people were being laid off, companies were failing. It was absolutely insanity. And when that happened for me is that the bank ended up calling and canceling my $50,000 line of credit that I was using to fund my purchase orders. And guess what happened? No one else would give me money so I could fund my purchase orders, despite saying I have this money that I've been given a down payment to make the suit, and I couldn't get the money I needed to actually make the suit, right? Again, my problem was I was relying on referrals. I had other problems too, but one of the major problems was I was relying on referrals. So I never knew when money was coming in, and I couldn't bet against that anyways. Now, let's talk about the 4 reasons you're not finding steady flow of high-paying clients. And I'm going to share with you the 4 reasons. I want to make sure we're on track. Okay. I told you this is going to be quick, so I want to give you the information. I'm not going to tell you this long-winded story. I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to tell you what to do with it next, like how to go to that next level. Okay, so the 4 reasons you're not finding steady flow of high-paying clients or customers is you haven't identified your ideal client. That's the first one. The problem that you have is if you can't identify your ideal client, you won't really know how to solve their problem, right? There's only 2 reasons why people buy money. There's only 2 reasons why people buy things or spend money: to get a desired result or to solve a problem. If you can't identify who your ideal client is, you won't know what problem they have and you won't know what results they want. That makes sense? So the second reason is you aren't charging high enough prices for your services. It sounds crazy and it sounds like the lowest price wins, but let's put it this way. If you were going to buy some bread and you had a chance to go to Whole Foods, or you can go to the dollar store, where are you going to buy your bread? Now, some of you may say, I don't care, I'm going to go to the dollar store. And that loaf of bread's going to last about another 5 hours before it starts turning blue because it's rotten and spoiled. Or you can go to Whole Foods and pay $5 for a loaf of bread, but you know it's organic and it's farm raised, or farm to table, and it's been made by by the local bread maker, right? But there's a story behind it, but also it's probably better for you. It's not necessarily always about the price. It's about the problem that you solve and the results they get. So, and number 3, another reason is you don't have enough money to build your support team, and you don't have enough capital to build your team. So here's a situation. This happens to me all the time when I have my strategy calls with entrepreneurs and small business owners. They're small. They don't have enough income to hire people. They don't have enough money to hire people, and they don't have the ability to implement the system to help them make more money in the process. So they can't invest in a CRM, which is a customer relationship management software. They can't invest in a salesperson or sales training. They can't invest in office space to bring people to their office so they can sell them and pitch them and have a conversation. They're not bringing in enough money, so as a result of that, they can't bring in steady flow of clients. So the reason why they can't bring in clients is because they don't have a way to track sales. They don't have a way to implement different programs to help improve sales and increase sales. You understand? So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The last is, which is really important, is you haven't created a simple sales and prospecting process to get more clients for your business. That sounds kind of counterintuitive. Actually, it sounds pretty obvious, but think about it. If you're waiting for referrals, that's not a process. Referrals is hope and prayer. That's waiting for the stars to fall into a line and to give you people who want to buy your product. Waiting for Good Morning America to put you on TV so people can come to your store. Those days are over. That doesn't happen anymore, right? And if you're selling B2B, those people who you sell to aren't watching Good Morning America, so it's irrelevant. Getting press in the news is great if you don't use it right, if you're not sending it to the right person. So you have to be able to create a process, a consistent process that allows you to duplicate, scale, and grow. So if you know who I talk to, when I talk to them, and how long it takes before I get a sale, guess what can happen? You can actually invest money into that process. You can invest people into that process. You can invest time into that process. You can actually replicate the process and scale the process. So you know it takes a week to get a sale. Therefore, you need to get an extra week for yourself. How can I do that? I can get money, hire people. I can actually apply different strategies to that particular process. So too often, small business owners, even those who are in the multi-six figures, don't have a process to get new customers and clients, and as a result, they struggle. And now let me share with you some of my mistakes, and I'm going to apply this to what we talked about. So the first mistake for me was I went after athletes. I went after businessmen. I went after executives. I had no idea why. I thought I was going after people who had money, but some of my clients were making $60,000, $80,000 a year, which is not really a lot in a grand scheme of buying a $2,000 suit. The difference was they liked what they enjoyed a $2,000 suit, right? To them, it was important to get a $2,000 suit, and I was going after people for the wrong reasons. Okay, so I didn't identify who really my customer was. I thought it was an athlete. No, that wasn't necessarily true. The second mistake I made was I was only charging about $1,000 per suit when I knew certain executives were paying as much as $3,000 or more per suit because they saw the value in that, and I didn't present my product and slash my service in a way that increased the value. Because again, it's not just a suit. So I know it sounds kind of product, but it's not just a suit. It's actually the service, because it requires me to come out there and measure you, have a conversation, and then do multiple fittings in order to get to that place, right? I didn't charge enough to warrant all the extra things that I was doing, so I was actually losing money every single time I sold a suit. Number three, I didn't create a strong enough relationship with the bank. Now, what does that have to do with the last one before? Well, if I'd created a stronger relationship, say with a local bank, even a regional bank, or even a national bank, the likelihood of them canceling my line of credit would have been a lot less, because then I could have had a conversation with them. They would have called me, and I've seen this happen in the past with other companies I've worked with, where you build a good enough relationship with the bank, they're your partner. They're in it for the long haul. They're not just going to cancel it because you're some guy in an office somewhere across town who's using their money to do, gosh knows what, right? And finally, I relied on referrals and word of mouth for new clothing clients rather than focusing on creating a repeatable system and using a repeatable system that I could scale. And as a result, my business failed. Now, ask yourself a question: is that happening to you? Maybe your business is not failing, but are you stuck? Are you in a situation where you can't get more customers and clients, even though you want to? You're stuck without a system. You don't know how to get more customers and clients. You're relying on referrals. You're relying on word of mouth. Maybe you can't get the right credit, the right loans to grow your business as a result, because you don't know what you need to do that. Maybe you haven't identified your customer. You think you know what your customer is, but you haven't actually granularly identified. You haven't gone deeper to find out exactly what they're looking for. That could be another problem. So let's go jump to the next slide. The 4 steps to getting more customers and clients. So I told you the 4 reasons why you're not getting steady flow. I'm going to share with you the 4 steps to getting more clients. And this is literally what we use to help companies just like yours. If you're still out here watching this is to help companies just like yours get new customers and clients, a steady flow of them, and also grow their business. And you'll see some examples shortly. The first thing, as I told you earlier, is that identify your ideal client, your ideal niche, your ideal problems, and your solutions. So that's partially what we do when we work with entrepreneurs like yourself. We help you identify your ideal client by asking you a series of questions. We help you identify your niche by asking you a series of questions, and we also help you identify the problems as well as the solutions that you solve. It makes it easier to have a conversation when there's pushback, and that also helps you understand who you need to talk to rather than talking to a gatekeeper versus a decision maker versus an influencer. Okay. Number 2, we help you. You have to identify and quantify what problem you solve that clients are willing to pay for. Not all problems Not all problems are worth solving. Okay. You may find a problem. You may say, we need to increase the type of the cloud storage, and maybe the person you're talking to doesn't care because they don't need it, right? So once you identify the ideal client, niche, problem, solution, that helps you identify the quantitative value of the problem that they have, and that allows you to raise your price. So there's a simple way that we do that with a lot of our customers and clients, because again, there's two parts to this. Once you identify how much you should be charging, you have to not only convince the prospect, you got to convince yourself. Now here's why. Because if you don't convince yourself, the minute they push back, you're going to say something like, "Oh, I'll give you a discount," or "I'll cut my price," or "Oh, we'll do this instead." This happens all the time, and the reason I see this happening all the time is because the business owner hasn't convinced themselves that they should be charging what they're currently charging based on what we agreed upon. Okay, so you have to be able to identify and quantify what problem you solve that the clients are willing to pay for. Now, number 3. One of the steps to getting more clients is using 4 simple steps to build a strong relationship with your business bank. Now, these are things that I've taught. Depending on when you're watching this, there's trainings that I'm actually putting together for local government to literally help the businesses in that area build a relationship with their bank and also get capital. Now, that's the reason why I know this. In writing my book, I interviewed over a dozen commercial bankers. I'm one of the top experts in helping small businesses get loans. As a matter of fact, I can show you how to get loans, credit cards, all for your business by following some simple steps. Now, that helps you build a relationship. And here's why the relationship is important. Because when you run into problems, the bank becomes your partner. The bank is not an adversarial relationship. The bank becomes your partner. When the bank becomes your partner, the likelihood of them helping you solve your problem exponentially goes up, right? Now, number 4. One of the one step to getting more customers and clients is to use a simple, repeatable process to email, call, contact the right decision maker, and also how to write the perfect prospecting email and phone script. Now, there's a system in order how you do it, and so you can develop a sales cadence. So how do I find the right person? How do I contact them? What do I send in the email? What do I say to them? What do I say when they respond? All these things have to be done, and there's a methodology behind and a psychology behind why it works and what you should do to continue to hammer it so that eventually they have a conversation with you. The goal is this. The goal is not to sell them via email. So in case you're wondering, I don't sell, it's not to sell them via email. The goal is to have a conversation, to get in front of them. People try to email them and call them all the time. Your goal is, how do I get in front of the right person so I can present my product or my pitch or my offer and then eventually do business with them? That is a little bit later. But the goal here with the prospecting is to get in front of the right person and then continue to foster that and build that relationship over time. So these are the 4 steps to getting more customers and clients. And the people who are struggling aren't doing any of these. And those who are succeeding are doing these in some form or fashion. There's a process to do all 4 of these, and that's something I can show you and we can talk about later. Let me give you some examples of people. Devea Adoy, she got more clients at highest rates. And 2 weeks since taking the training, I secured 3 contracts at my highest rates to date. Thank you, Abong. I like when people say thank you to me. Thank you, Abong. Your training was the confidence boost I needed. Now, ask yourself a question. She's an illustrator. She's founder of a design shop. Now, ask yourself a question, right? If you could get 3 new contracts at the highest rate, right? Regardless of what that means to you, even if you don't raise your prices, right? Even if you don't like do anything different, you just get three contracts at the highest rate you could possibly think of. Think about what that would be like for your business. Would that 10x your business? Would it double? Would it increase your sales by 20, 30, 40, 50%, 80%? What could you do with the extra money if you can raise your prices? What bills would you pay? Right? What debt would you take care of? How would you want a vacation? Would you invest back into your business? Whatever it is, I want you to think about what that's like if that happens for you. And some simple tweaks, simple process, simple systems can literally change your life and change your business. Now, had a very similar experience. For him, Jared Robinson is the owner of Body at Work. He's a massage therapist and he runs a massage shop. So he does massage therapy sessions for corporations, companies. You know, when you go into a company and you have your guys come in or your massage therapists come in and they give massages to the people. You have the chair massage. It's actually really cool. I've done it a few times for some of the companies I work for, and maybe you have as well. But anyways, Jared goes in. I get excited about this because I love massages. But Jared goes in after the training. He literally saw an increase of 30% in profitability with the table massages and as high as 161% in corporate chair massage gigs. Honestly, ask yourself a question. If you can you're doing $200,000 a year and you can raise your revenues by 30%, your profit by 30%. $200,000 a year, 30% is an extra $60,000. You go from $200,000 to $260,000. What would you do with the extra $60,000 after you pay taxes? Right? What would happen to your business? What could you invest in? Maybe that $60,000 allows you to hire an assistant or 2. Maybe it allows you to invest in some customer relationship management. Maybe the $60,000 allows you to invest in additional training and implementing a process. Like what would you do with the additional $60,000 if you were already earning $200,000? You see what I'm saying? Like these small subtle shifts is what gets your run rate going. So with a small little bump does two things. It gets you realizing that what you want to accomplish is possible. And then the second thing it does, it gives you the freedom and the ability to implement what you need to do next. So you can focus on income producing activities. So here's another one. Recently had a conversation with her. She's phenomenal. She's a go-getter. She's a hustler. She started after our call. I received responses from two so far, and just executed a contract on one of them last week. The contract is worth $87,500. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this. I had to cut what her testimonial was. So synopsis is really quick. We went to the training. I literally ended up working with her a little bit and providing her with a plan and a process to push this further. I gave her some feedback on what she should say to the particular client and what they're going to say in response, but how to counteract that. And this is what ended up happening. She ended up getting them to sign a contract for $87,500. Literally within a week, within almost a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Again, $60,000 before, $87,000, almost $90,000, $87,000, almost $88,000. How would your life change if you can do the same thing for your business? Again, another multi-six-figure earner, and she's literally increased just probably a 20% increase, 30% increase to her business. What would happen if you could increase your income by 30% within a short period of time, and then you can just reapply these strategies and actually get to the six, and eventually multiple six to eventually seven figures. You understand what I'm saying? So these are examples of people who are actually doing it. These are all real people. They're real names. You can go find them. This is not people make up testimonials. These are all real people who are actually making changes in their lives and improving their businesses, and these are real dollars, 5 and 6 figure increases, right? Now, this is the reality of your business. If you're not where these people are and where they were, here's the reality of your business. Without the right steps, you will mistakenly believe that it's pretty hard to grow your business if you can't find new clients regularly. You'll also mistakenly believe that it's pretty hard to grow your business if you don't charge clients enough money. You'll also mistakenly believe that it's pretty hard to grow your business if you don't have capital to fund your business. Just like I told you, what if you raised your prices or did something and you got more money? You can invest in your business. It's also, you'll mistakenly believe that it's pretty hard to grow your business if you don't have the right process to find and contact new clients. If you're waiting for referrals, if you're using useless sales funnels, right? How will a sales funnel help you if you're trying to get in front of the VP of HR or the VP of IT or the VP of fill in the blanks, right? You think they're going to be going through a sales funnel? $7, $15, $20, whatever that the sales funnel business is. Nothing wrong with sales funnels. I use them. But when it comes to B2B, I don't. There's a better way to do it. There's a more faster, efficient way to get the right process down, to get right prospecting tools in place, and to actually get in front of the right person so you can actually find out what the problem is and then solve it for them so they can give you money for what you provide, right? Again, this is the reality of business. If you're going through these four things and have the struggles, don't get stuck. The people who you just saw, Devea Odoy, Jared Robinson, Nicole Nixon, there's a whole host of others who aren't in the same place anymore because they decided to take a step. So introducing to you, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to do this, introducing to you the Economics Business Builder Workshop. Now, this is an amazing workshop that I'm hosting. You will find out when this is going to be. All you need to do, later on, I'll tell you what you need to do in order to get access to this. And there's only one way. You have to have a conversation with me first. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I can sell this via the webinar or via this training, but I want to make sure that you fit the right mold. And the only way that can happen is to have a conversation, because the reason why you're seeing these three people succeed is because we had a conversation first and then we moved forward. I don't care how much money you have. I will not sell you access to the workshop because it's live, first of all, but two, you won't be able to come because you won't get the results that I know you can get based on certain industries. So this is what you're going to be able to do. This is what you're going to be able to do with the workshop. So the first is you'll be able to identify the perfect client who will gladly pay you higher prices for your services. Number two, you'll be able to increase your prices so you can charge more without worrying about losing customers or clients. Biggest thing, everybody you've met raised their prices so far. If you saw people you've seen on this training, they've raised their prices. You're also going to be able to understand your business operations using simple ratios without having to be a math genius. I don't like math, no problem. I don't know Excel, no problem. I don't know anything about accounting, no problem. Show you simple ratios, things you need to take a look at every single month, every single week, or every single year, so you can have a conversation with your bank, right? I'm also going to show you in this workshop. I'm going to take a small bit of time so I can teach you how to create your own loan package to present to a local bank and lenders for capital to grow your business. Now, here's the thing: you can go get business capital or business credit. You don't have to use it; just get it, because when you need it, they're not going to lend to you. And they'll always lend to you when you don't need it. And that's exactly why I advocate for businesses just like yours to go out and get as much credit as possible to have it and store it for a rainy day. Like squirrels hide nuts, you hide debt and credit, okay? And we can have another conversation about that a little bit later. But also, I want to, after this workshop, you're going to be able to develop a simple client attraction strategy that shows you how to get new customers and clients quickly, and customers without having to rely on referrals. So let me go this again. After the workshop, you're going to be able to develop a simple client attraction strategy that shows you how to get you new clients quickly and customers without having to rely on referrals. Now, what does that actually mean? The workshop is live, okay? I'm literally going to work with you to create your own client attraction strategy. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to get in front of the right people. I'm going to show you what I do to get in front of VPs, in front of managers, and I'm going to tell you how to get in front of them, how to find out who the influencers are, how to find out who are people who are responsible for writing the checks, and what to say to them. This is going to be majority of what we do in the workshop, because it's going to show you how to literally create a process that you can actually invest your time and energy into. Okay, so at the end of this workshop, you're going to be able to do all these things. You're going to be able to raise your prices. You're going to be able to identify your ideal customer and client. You're going to be able to find the right person to get in front of so you can sell your product. You're actually going to be able to write your own pitch. Okay, so the pitch makes sense. I'm going to add value to it. I'm going to make sure I add my input to it as well. So here's some frequently asked questions, and I'm going to share with you how to schedule time with me next, so that so we can have a conversation. 15 minutes, quick 15-minute call. You schedule time, quick 15-minute call. You schedule some time and talk about your business. See if you qualify. Then I'll tell you what more we can do, and then you can reserve your seat. So you can't reserve your seat here. You got to reserve your seat via the call. Now, depending on where you're watching this, you may be able to reserve your seat automatically too. So as we get closer, we may be able to do that, because after 50, I won't be able to talk to that many people anymore. I'm losing my voice talking to you guys right now. All right, first question I always get: don't referrals work? Don't referrals work? I get new clients from friends all the time. Yep. That's well and dandy. I'm going to answer these now. I have a thing. I'm going to answer these. So look, that's the advice that below average people give you. So you end up getting below average results. Now, while wasting time and money in the process. Now, how many times have you spoken to a friend that hired somebody else because they didn't know the type of work you did? That happens all the time. Now, referrals only work if the person you're being referred to is in the market for your services. Otherwise, your business card ends up in the desk drawer. So I know this guy's a realtor. If I'm not buying or selling a house, I really don't care, right? And then one day you find somebody at work, or someone you know, or a significant other has a friend, and you use that person. And then later on, the person says, how come you didn't tell me? I'm a realtor. And then you forget. Why? Because referrals don't work. They don't work. They only work if literally the person who's referring you is in the market for what you do. And then you have to try and sell them anyways to do business with you, because they most likely have somebody else they're going to do business with. So now you may be thinking, who am I to teach this? Told you this earlier, shared this earlier with some of the social proof. And that's a great question. It seems like every Tom, Dick, and Harriet online are teaching business building and growth without experiences in anything. Now, I use my life experience, my business experiences as a CPA and serial entrepreneur to help small business owners raise their prices, get more clients, get business bank loans, but also increase their revenue. And I'm also a leadership entrepreneur, small business expert, and you saw that I appear on many television stations and all over the place. So you can find me. I'm not a guy that's hiding. I'm not a new guy on the block, a new kid on the block. I'm out there, okay? So, here's the next question. These are all questions I've gotten in the past from people who have asked, people I've had a conversation with. Abong, your one day intensive business builder workshop, say that 3 times fast, is a lot of money. Why isn't it cheaper or free? That's a very good question. Actually, it's not. It's a dumb question, but I'm going to answer it anyways. If it were free, your results would be 0. You already have free stuff, right? If it was free, your results would be 0. So how many other free information sources, courses, random advice have you taken and used before? Now, how did your life change? Did your business get any better? Probably not. Mainly because everyone has advice and opinions, but those opinions are generally useless. You know, those cheap $60 workshops from SBA or SCORE merely feature people who are trying to sell you other services. So they give you surface level strategies. Let's be honest, man. Change comes from implementing real steps to solve real business problems. And that's what we'll do in this workshop. There's a lot of free stuff out there. Watch free videos. None of it can help you. There's no value. There's no how, right? And what to do specifically and why. It's all like, this is the steps. Do this, do that. But they don't tell you specifically what you need to do for you, right? Here's another one that I got recently. I went to the bank for a loan. They laughed at me and told me they couldn't help me. I'm sorry about that, but bankers are in the business to give loans. They're not in the business to teach business owners about business. And one of the reasons why they say no to you is because businesses go in there unprepared. They don't have their documents in order. They don't even know what to put together. And they just tell them to get out, right? And bankers are also not in the business of teaching businesses how to get loans from them. That sounds counterintuitive, I agree, but still, they're not in the business to teach you how to get a loan from them. So in many cases, you may qualify for a bank loan, but you don't know how to present your business in a way that makes the banker loan to you. That changes at the live intensive workshop, right? Here's why. I'll show you exactly what you need to do to make the bank so happy that they will loan you money you don't even need. I'll show you how to get $30,000 in available credit by having a simple conversation with my bank. The package also you must create to get your banker's attention, even if you don't have the best credit scores. Some people say I don't have the best credit score. We'll talk exactly what you need to do to get in front of your bank adequately. Now, how do you help me get more clients and customers for my business? Can't I just use Facebook ads, LinkedIn, or post on Facebook? Yeah, you can. It seems like everybody out there is taking a course, feels qualified to teach client acquisition. But my friends, Facebook ads are merely a tactic. In many cases, business-to-business sales can be built primarily through Facebook, or actually at all in many cases. Businesses that get repeatable clients and raise their profits have a proven strategy. Our strategy includes teaching you how to find your ideal client, how to charge them more without losing them, and how to handle their objections like, I can't afford it. Now let me think about it. Or your competitors charge half what you charge. You hear that all the time. I'm going to show you how to deal with all that, how to handle that so that you no longer have those types of questions. I will also show you how to find the right people and how to consistently contact them so you can get the appointment and then eventually get the sale. In the live workshop, I will also show you how I use email and LinkedIn to find the decision makers and get appointments with them so I can sell. Right? Now here's the last question. Why do I have to apply for this live workshop? Can't I just pay for my seat right now? In many cases you can. Right now you can't. And it's a lot easier to put a payment button and have people pay now to reserve their seats. But what's easier for me doesn't mean it's a great idea for you. It's easier for me to put a button for you to reserve your seat. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a great idea for you. I want to make sure that the small business owners who attend this live workshop event are qualified and have the experience to get the results they deserve. I would rather have the right people in the workshop than a high number of sales. Now you're probably asking why. That sounds kind of, crazy. I told you guys I have integrity, I have ethics, but here's the biggest reason why. My reputation is important, right? And my ability to get results also relies on the small business owners we work with. So it's me that's on the line. I'm the one that can be searched. I'm not the fly-by-night guy. You Google me, I come up. I dominate first and second, third, all the way to 10 pages. It's me, right? On television, it's me. On international news, it's me. So if I'm the guy that's not producing results, it's imperative for me. So it's my reputation's on the line. So I want to make sure I have the best businesses possible to work together and to be there as well. So you're probably asking yourself what I need to do. How do I get started? Here's what you basically do, right? What you do now is you click the link below. Wherever you see this link, click the link. Schedule a time to speak to me directly to see if you qualify for the live event. The live event is coming up soon. So if you're watching this and you've been through this whole presentation, it's coming up soon. Make sure you click the link below and register a time so we can have a conversation, right? And if everything goes well, we have a conversation, you can after you schedule a time to speak with me and you qualify, you can reserve your seat and prepare for having your business 10x to 100x. Okay? I only work closely with about 50 service-based small business owners. 50, right? So this is going to go fast. Additionally, after you leave the workshop and after you leave the live intensive, you will have the roadmap to increasing sales, capital, as well as your business. You'll also see a link. After you schedule a link, I'll send you a link to the actual page. You'll be able to see all the other information that we shared here today. You'll see also more as well. After you've registered for your time to speak with me, automatically I'll send you a link to, and you answer a few questions, I will send you a link to the actual page. You'll see what more you get for the workshop. I have a whole bunch of different bonuses worth at least $10,000 in additional bonuses that I'm going to give for free for people who qualify for the workshop. Again, like I said, after you leave, you'll have the roadmap to increase your sales, increase your capital, and increase your business. What if you could 10x to 100x your business? What would I do for your life? How would your family be happy? What would happen? Think about what it would be like if you could do that. So click the link below, schedule a time to speak with me ASAP before all the seats run out, because again, I'm actually starting to promote this a little bit more, and I'm about to hit my list relatively soon. And when I do that, I'm gonna get a lot more applicants. And when we do, eventually we'll sell out and it'll be closed. Okay? So do that. Thank you so much as always. Hope you had an amazing time in this this training. The goal again is to share with you the 4 reasons you're not finding a steady flow of high-paying customers and clients, but I also shared with you how to find higher-paying customers and clients, and I've also shared with you people who are already doing it and who've doubled, tripled their business. All of them are making multiple 6 figures. You can do the same thing to grow your business as well. I'll see you soon. Have any questions? Make sure you click the link, schedule a time to talk, and I'll see you soon.